Well, taking you inside the sheds of metal fabricating and meeting the apprentices that make up our workforce here in southern Queensland. Mum of two, Samantha Johnson, is currently completing a Cert 4 in Engineering Fabrication, and she's this week been recognised at the Women in Manufacturing Apprentice Awards for 2025, and she joins me now. Samantha, good morning, welcome.
Thank you. Good morning to you too.
Congratulations on the recognition you've received with the Apprentice Awards. Have you always wanted to be involved in the trades industry, or is this a bit of a sort of a career leap for you?
So I've had a few different jobs before finding my way into the manufacturing industry. Initially, I was pursuing a career as a chef. So I started out as an apprentice in that field when I moved out of home. But over time, I realised that, chefing wasn't the right career for me. It wasn't the right fit. And I just made a quick search on seek.com for an apprenticeship near me because I wanted to continue learning. And the closest thing I found was a boiler making apprenticeship. So I made that decision to transition from apprentice chef to apprentice boiler maker. Sort of the decision behind that shift wasn't entirely out of the blue. So I do come from a family of Boilermakers, including my dad, my older brother, and a couple of uncles. And my dad also owns an engineering business. So I spent a lot of afternoons after school holidays, all that sort of stuff, helping out, which sort of gave me a little bit of early exposure and a solid understanding of the industry. It definitely influenced my decision to take on the apprenticeship as well, but it's been one of the best career choices I've made.
We so often hear that more needs to be done to improve female representation in manufacturing. Can I ask you what your experience has been? Do you find yourself severely outnumbered, or is that situation improving across manufacturing overall?
I definitely think it's improving. So in my experience, female representation in manufacturing is definitely improved over the years. There's still a noticeable gap, especially in leadership, technical roles, on the shop floor, all those sorts of places. Throughout my career, I've often found myself as the only woman in the room, which does feel a little bit isolating and intimidating at times. There were, and there still are, moments where I feel I have to prove my capability more than the men that I work with, just to be taken, seriously or to be accepted. With that being said, there are some fantastic groups and organisations out there at the moment who are promoting and supporting women in trades. So you've got like the National Association of Women in Construction, Awesome Women in Construction, Future Lady Tradies, Women in Manufacturing, the Department of Small Business Education and Training. All those organisations are great for supporting and encouraging women to take the step into a manufacturing role.
Are they also, any of those organisations, do they offer any sort of support once you're actually in an apprenticeship or in a role as well?
So the National Association of Women in Construction, or NAWIC as they're also known, they do offer a mentorship program, which I actually took place in last year, and I found that quite helpful. So they do have that can help partner women in the construction and manufacturing industry with someone else that's got similar experiences or experience in the industry that can help them. So I think that's quite helpful as well.
Tell me, are there some aspects of the job that people don't realise are different for women? I mean, is it just that what you touched on there, that, in some workplaces it can still be that very blokey environment and you feel you have to prove yourself, or are there some aspects that are actually harder physically for women to do?
Things are always going to still be blokey. As the saying goes, boys will be boys.
Yes.
I don't believe every workplace is capable of truly welcoming women. Over the past 12 years of my career, I've worked at 4 different businesses. 3 of them were overall positive experiences. 1 I'm still working at currently. The other 3 I left on good terms. In fact, 2 of those former employees are now mentors of mine.
Wow. Okay.
I still turn to today. I still call them regularly, catch up for coffee. That speaks volumes. So there was in fact one workplace that I wouldn't return to, which is the first place I worked at when starting my apprenticeship. It wasn't a culture where women were supported or respected equally. I was pretty much a cleaner. It wasn't fun. But my perseverance to work through that terrible time really cemented the foundation of my career and made it known to me that I was where I was meant to be. The experience has made it clear how important the right environment is, not just for women to be present, but for us to thrive. Like with the right support, the right encouragement, we can thrive.
And Samantha, you've been awarded Leading Apprentice, and you are a role model for others. What do you have to say to anyone listening who might be thinking of entering the industry but are worried about being the lone girl or a lone woman in still a male-dominated industry, and all those typical fears that I guess women must have going into this field, even though it shouldn't be that way? What would you say to them?
Firstly, it's an absolute honour to be recognised with this award. More than anything, I hope it shows to others that there is a place for them in this industry as well. To anyone thinking about entering manufacturing, don't let stereotypes or doubts or any negativity hold you back. This is an industry full of opportunity. There's a role for everyone. You just have to be willing to learn, ask questions, and back yourself.